Hello everyone, we are from Group 2 and today we will present our answer for Tutorial 2 for the CIX 3005 Tourism Management course. So let me introduce to you our group members. There's Erna, myself Dinda, Raffle, Alia, and Nadia. Here are the presentation contents. The first is overview of the case study, and then concise statements, followed by problem statements, possible alternatives, pros and cons of alternative, and lastly, the preferred alternative. The first part will be explained by Alia.
The first part is the overview of the case study. So the case study of taking a dive is about Roger, Harrison, and their wife's experience during their vacation to the Caribbean island. So Harrison and his wife Sheena has been advised by Roger and his wife Julie to stay at their favorite scuba diving resort. But they changed to the ultimate scuba resort because they wanted something nicer. Roger and Harrison also choose Tropical Dive as their travel agency because they have the best packages. However, during the vacation, there is a lot of incident happen. So first, Roger wanted to know how to reduce the number of dive in their package because Julie was sick at the first moment. So Karen, the staff at the orientation desk, said that they will have to speak with Brad, the head of dive operation in the management department. But he could not help them because any changes only could be approved by Lucinda, the staff officer. So Roger went to the office the next day to speak with Linda about changing their dive package. However, he would have to speak with the management once more with Brad. But Brad denied that any changes to their dive package would require his approval. So then Roger returned to the Lucinda office and informed her that Brad said that only she could make any adjustment. So then Lucinda called Brad and they two spoke in Dutch language, which Brad said that it was okay for them to downgrade their package to six dive package or no dive package at all if Julie was still sick. Lucinda also mentioned to simply informing them before their diving, and Roger also promised to contact them if and when Julie cold is healed. After a few days, Roger returned to Lucinda to speak with her now that Julie could begin diving. But they didn't have enough time to complete their 12 dive package. So they decided to cut it short to 6 dive package and they were informing Lucinda as per requested. But at that moment, Lucinda acted shocked and asked why they wanted to change the dive package. So Roger reminded her that Julie was having a bad cold when they initially came and was unable to dive at all at the first week. Lucinda admitted that she was aware of that situation, but only Patty could make any adjustment. So Roger go to meet with Patty and spoke with Patty and was told that only Tropical Dive, their travel agency, could make any adjustment because they have booked their trip with them. But then the request to change their diving package was rejected by travel agency. Lucinda then informed him that he had booked a 12 dive package then and any changes could be made before the trip. So when he received the key to their room, it means that their package has begun and no changes could be made at that moment. So yeah, but Lucinda also said that Tropical Dive was the one that was not allowing them to change and not the resort itself. Continuing the story, during their vacation at the Caribbean island, one of those nights, Julie realized that her closet was all messed up and she noticed an open window. At that moment, both couples realized that they had been the victims of breaking. So they immediately went to the front desk to report about the incident, but the staff at the front desk seemed very unconcerned and reluctantly called the resort securities and police. Apparently, at the resort, the problem of thief and break-ins is a very common problem. So next, during their departure day, Roger returned the rental car to the rental company, but the attendant informed him that he was still responsible for the rental charges. So Roger at that moment seemed very confused because he knew that the car had already been paid for because it was included in the tropical dive package. But the attendant had no record of it, So then Roger reluctantly agreed to the attendant offered uh, to apply the rental charges to his credit card that he gave for the security purposes. And finally, when they got home, they contacted Heidi, a staff at the Tropical Dive, and he explained to Heidi about their situation where Julie had a bad cold when they arrived and they could not dive at all. He also went on to explain that he and Harrison has tried several times to switch to a Six Flags package, but were given the run around instead. So then Tropical Dive also had previously mentioned that any customers may downgrade their package and receive a refund if they want to reduce the numbers of dive in their package during their vacation. But during those moments, Heidi denied the claim and went over to their file hesitantly looking for the payment or rental car issues. So that is the overview of the case study, and we will dive further into this in the later presentation. So now I'll pass to the next presenter. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Alia, for the summary of the case study. My name is Rafael Iskandar, and I will take the floor to give 10 concise statements about the case study. Number 1. Julie was afraid to ruin the vacation because of her cold. The couple in the case study, Julie and Roger, have planned to go scuba diving for their vacation and have booked the 12 dive packages with their travel agent. Due to her cold, it is impossible for her to do scuba diving as it will be dangerous for her health. In addition, Tropicana Dive, the travel agent, have a right to downgrade the packages and receive a refund if they decide to reduce the number of boat dives. That's why she's afraid of ruining the whole vacation. Number 2. Roger needed to take his own action as the resort did not have the intention of reminding their guests about the burglary problem. During the trip, both couples became victims of a burglary and had lost a couple $100. However, the front desk and the security guard seemed unconcerned as they found this as a common problem. Therefore, Roger needed to tell other girls to take extra precaution. Number 3. Roger was getting proverbial runaround when he wanted to change the dive packages. Roger was told that he was required to talk with the management if he wanted to change the dive package because of his wife's condition. However, as he wanted to do so, the management of the resort made him talk to different people and result with no certain answers related to his problem. Number 4. The management approved to reduce the dive package number with certain conditions. The first condition is, it was okay to change from 12 to 6 dive package if Julie's cold prevented the couple from diving. The second condition, the couple needs to pay an extra fee if they want to dive more than 6 times as Julie's cold gets better. And the last condition is, Roger needs to let the management know about the change before they get into their first boat. Number 5. Roger kept decided to change the dive package after her wife getting better from cold. Roger insisted that the change was still necessary as they were only allowed to dive once that day, and they only had 3 days before they had to fly home. Because diving was not permitted the day before flying, they could only do 5 or possibly 6 dives. Number 6. The resort rejects the changes as the travel agents are the ones who are responsible for it. As we knew, the couple booked the dive package through a travel agent. Therefore, any changes of the packages need to be communicated within the resort and the travel agent, not directly with the couple. Number 7. Travel agents denied the changes due to the term and condition on the dive package. In the terms and condition, it is stated that any changes had to be made before the package began. The couples would begin the package at the time they got the key to their room and no change could be made after it. Number 8. Roger was frustrated due to the terms and conditions in the travel agent package. Roger wondered how the package could have begun before they began diving. In addition, Roger couldn't believe they wouldn't let them make a change that would save them a few $100s on a hotel or dive package that would have cost them thousands of dollars, especially since his wife couldn't dive without threatening her health. Number 9. Roger got charges on his credit card for unpaid rental car payment by the travel agent. During the time when Roger wanted to return his rental car, the attendant told him they did not receive a payment from the travel agent, and they decided to take charges on a credit card given by Roger as their security when he picked up the car. Number 10. Roger and Harrison are still uncertain whether they can get back their money. After the trip, Roger and Harrison went back to the travel agent to talk about their problem on their packages. They told them that they could make any changes when they buy the packages, and they were convinced that the rental car was included in the package. However, the travel agent still put them on hold while they reviewing the file. That's all from me. I will pass the floor to the other presenter.
Thank you, Revel, for the concise statement that you have given. So the next part we'll go through is the problem statement of this case study. So first, there are 4 main problems that can be identified in this case study of taking a dive. The first problem is the run around for changing the vacation packages. So since the day they arrived, Roger has been finding way how to reduce the number of dive in their package, but the information about the person in charge keep changing from one person to another, starting from the front desk employees to the staff of management Brad, to the officer staff Lucinda, to the officer staff again but Patty, and finally to the Tropical Dive, the travel agency. The problem was with the staff of the resort in delivering information. The second problem is the security and thief issues, where the result is very common about thief and burglary, but despite this, the front desk staff is very unconcerned about informing customers regarding these issues and very ineffective in taking precaution. The security and police also were not helpful in this situation, so the problem was with the resort securities issues. The third problem is about the rental car payment record. Roger discovered on their departure day that the rental car had no record of payment, which was supposed to be included in the Tropical Dive package. So Roger had to pay with his own credit card at the end. So the problem was with the travel agency management in handling payment. And finally, the last problem is about the charges of missed dive. Before booking the vacation, the Tropical Dive mentioned that they would be able to change their dive package if any changes want to be made. But Heidi from the travel agency rejected everything that they had mentioned and never issued a refund for them. So the problem was with the travel agency in not giving clear instruction and information. So yep, that is all 4 problems that can be identified in this case study. So, concluding from all these 4 problems, the problem statement in this case study is obtaining satisfactory remedies will be difficult as the resort, the travel agencies, the rental car company seem very unconcerned about this situation. So, in order to resolve the issues, Roger and Harrison should take action and direct it correctly. So this problem statement need to be addressed and the alternative solution will be presented next. So the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Nur Aina Shafina bin Dawasan. Now we shall move on to the possible alternative that can take from the issue that arise in the case study. The first one is gather evidence and post on online platform. As already discussed in the case study, the service provided by the travel agency and also the resort is very bad. We can see the issue arise regarding the run around for changing the vacation package, security issue, charge for missed dive, as well as the being lied about the rental car payment. From all of this issue, as a victim, they have an obligation to help others by giving a bad review on their website and social media. This is because usually before everyone leaves for vacation, they research for the best destination to meet their needs. So by giving feedback on their website or social media, the tourists can immediately determine whether to stay or not in a particular resort. The second alternative is write a letter complaint to manager of travel agency. A letter of complaint in which express the strong dissatisfaction with the service provided and false advertising promises. For example, left Roger in confusion information. This can be seen when at first Tropical Dive had said they could downgrade their package and receive a refund if they decided to reduce the number of boat dive on their trip, but at the end, Roger are being charged for missed dive and diving package also cannot be changed. Besides complaining about the detail of bad experience that they had in such the dive had been cancelled and the dive were fully booked every day, and being lied about the rental car payment. The third alternative is take a legal action against resort and travel agency. In this case, Roger can take legal suit travel and tourism law. The main focus of this law is to protect natural resources and community culture, while at the same time protecting travel consumer rights. The issue of delivering the false advertising promises is one of the issues in this case study that made Roger being run around to change a diving package. Nevertheless, Heidi seems innocent and is not responsible for changing vacation package and charged for missed dive. Hence, Roger can take legal action against the resort because of the security issue, and the court can take legal action against the resort if they are not concerned about the security in their resort in which the thief issue had been common problem at the resort previously. The thief at Tropical Dive also has caused each couple lose were only a couple $100. Next, Roger also can take legal action because of irresponsibility of the duty. Like mentioned in the case study, the front desk clerk seemed genuinely unconcerned of the customer problem and reluctantly agreed to call both resort security and police after being pressured. Thank you. That's all from me. I will pass the floor to the next presenter.
Thank you, Erna, for the possible alternatives. My name is Dinda, and I'll list out the pros and cons of each alternative. The first is gather evidences and post on online platforms. So, as more brands use social media to interact with customers, some have invested financial and human resource to resolve customer complaints in real time. So, should you vent out your frustrations on social media? Well, the answer is dependent on a number of factors, including the company's social media activity and the urgency with which you require a response. So, list out the pros first. For many complaints, it's best to send an email to create a paper trail or go into a store in person where it'll be harder to be ignored. However, if you require immediate assistance or have not received a response through traditional means of communication, social media may be the best option. A Twitter complaint, especially one that includes the company's name and the phrase bad customer service, is likely to receive a quick response. Most large corporations have someone watching Twitter for any mentions of them. It's all about reputational damage once more. Moving on to the cons. Some business actively use social media platforms to resolve their problems, while others use platforms like Twitter and Facebook to promote sales or industry news. So if a company doesn't interact with customers on social media, it might be a waste of time to issue a complaint in the social media. Some businesses avoid social media because they don't want to be associated with the controversy and negativity that occurs when a brand makes a mistake. Because what happens on the internet is difficult to conceal. So even minor gaffes can be used against a company for a long time. The second alternative is writing a letter of complaint to manager of travel agency. If you are disappointed with a product or service, expressing your dissatisfaction to the retailer or manufacturer is a quick and efficient way to have your complaint resolved. So a complaint letter is important because it records your complaint with the company. It aids in the preservation of any legal rights you may have in the situation. Additionally, it makes sure the company is aware of your side of the story. And if necessary, it assists in getting government agencies involved in your case and can alert them to any questionable business practices the company may have made. Furthermore, it shows that the company that you are serious about pursuing your complaint and can help you draft subsequent letters if you need to write more than one. Because some businesses may ignore your complaint unless they see something in writing. However, there are disadvantages of written communication. The first is impersonality. Because written communication is less personal than oral communication, it is less suitable for conveying emotional messages. Building personal relationships through writing or emails is also less effective than in person communication. Secondly, lack of instantaneous feedback. Oral communication produces instantaneous verbal and nonverbal feedback, which frequently informs the speaker's subsequent remarks. This crucial element is missing from written communication. Written communication cannot be adjusted in real time to meet the needs of an audience, clarify a question, or respond to a rebuttal. Furthermore, if there is misunderstanding, the writer may not be aware of it in time to correct it. The third alternative is taking legal action against results and travel agency. If you have suffered a loss, harm, or an injustice of any kind, legal action can be an excellent way to obtain justice. There are some advantages to using legal action as a tool to secure justice. The first is access to justice and remedies. You can obtain justice by taking legal action. You will almost always be granted a remedy if you successfully take legal action in court. If you win your case, the court will almost always order a legal solution to the problem that led to your claim. The court order could require that you be compensated for the harm you have suffered, that the harm be prevented, or that the defendant change their behavior. Under the Consumer Rights Act 2015, you are entitled to goods that are free from defects, of satisfactory quality, match the description, and last a reasonable length of time. When you are paying for services, they must be carried out with reasonable skill and care. Furthermore, it also offers transparency. Even if it is unsuccessful, legal cases can bring to light previously hidden information and allow the truth to be heard. During court proceedings, each party is often required to disclose relevant documents. This may result in the disclosure of relevant evidence in the public interest. In the digital age, high profile coverage of a legal case can have as much, if not more, influence on achieving change than the courtroom process itself. However, there are also disadvantages. Firstly, legal action can be time consuming. Litigation can take months or even years. As a result, bringing a legal case may not be the best option if you need a quick solution to a pressing issue. If you don't have the time to devote to bringing a legal case, you might want to consider other options before going to court. Furthermore, legal action can be costly. Litigation is usually costly, requiring substantial resources to obtain effective legal representation and gather evidence. A strong legal foundation is required for your claim to be successful in court. This means that your claim must be based on genuine claim to legal rights that the other party has violated. Equally, you must have the facts and evidence to prove your legal rights that have been breached by the other party. That is all from me. I will now pass the floor to Nadia, who will explain the preferred alternatives.
My name is Nur Nadia and I will continue with preferred alternative. So among the three possible alternatives that was explained by Erna last time, the preferred alternative that Roger and Harrison can take is alternative 3, which they can take a legal action against resort and travel agency that they take. What they can do is they can legally sue through travel and tourism law to the tropical dive from what they have done. From the case study, we can see that the tropical dive misrepresentation they are advertising to their customer, which is Roger and Harrison. We can see that tropical dive offered them a 12 dive package and can be downgraded to 6 dive package. But when it comes to some issue that inevitable, which they need to downgrade the package because Juliet, who is Roger's wife, had a cold, so the company cannot do so and charge them because they missed to dive. Other than that, Tropical Dive also committing fraud when their advertising state that the car rental is included in the vacation package, but unfortunately it is not, and they must pay more for the car rental. Hence, the full fare advertising rules applies to the ads that quote a specific price or that include airfare in the tour package price. So the price advertised is the price that consumer must pay, like the car rental issue. So then the advertisements is in violation of the full fare advertising rules. So it's Tropical responsibility to pay them back. Hence, they can sue the travel agency company for the misrepresentation and fraud that they do. Lastly, Ultimate Scuba Resort is irreversible to the thief that happens in their resort because there are no security guard and a front desk clerk when they want to make a report about what is happened in their room and others' room that suffer losses. Roger can sue the resort for the losses and damage because of this irresponsible act by the employee. So having a law is very important for travelers because it provides them a public health, safety, and overall well-being, such as once the court has taken a legal action against the travel agency and they need to pay the fine, the company will be more concerned about those and what even worse is they can be sued. That's all from Group 2 Tutorial 2. We hope you enjoy our video and please join the Kahoot. Thank you.